Jen, and how are you?
Good. Well, my name is Jenny, and I am a student at Winona State University, and I'm working under the supervision of Dawnette Seagren. She's our professor for the Tests and Measurements class.
Okay.
So if you have any questions or concerns, I have her information, and you're more than welcome to get a hold of her if you have any concerns or questions about this assignment. So
Okay.
thank you for participating. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So first, you signed this informed consent agreeing to be part of this project that I'm doing. Just to let you know, I won't show this to anyone. It's confidential. The only people that will see it are me, you, and obviously Dawnette when it comes to grading. If anything, yeah, and like I said, contact her, Dawnette, if you have any concerns about the project.
Okay.
And like I said, no information will be shared. I will share the results of the test that you took. I just won't share in great detail. I will share with you the yeah, I'll share with you the general portion of it. So
Okay.
and then I will give you a copy of that if I didn't already state that.
Okay.
All right, so first, I guess what I want to talk about is when you were younger and growing up, just tell me a little bit about yourself and where you grew up and things like that, and when you were born and
Okay.
all that.
I was born in Maine.
Okay.
I lived on a farm. We grew up on a farm, and we had cows, pigs, chickens, you name it. We had it. We had a big garden. We did most of our meals were from our garden, homegrown meals,
Okay.
potatoes, corn, and all that stuff. We had cows, and of course, we slaughtered the cows, and that was our meals. That was our meat for the days and whatnot. So my mother, she stayed home most of the time with us kids. She did a lot of cooking. She made homemade donuts, breads, baked beans, and stuff like that. So, and later on in life, she did go to work outside of the home. She worked at a woolen mills where they make yarn to, make afghans and stuff like that and whatnot. She did do moccasins inside the house at one point. She was sewing them, putting them together and stuff like that.
Okay.
My father did also work outside of the home. He worked at also a woolen mill in another town. He did basically the same thing and whatnot.
I'm sorry. Paper. Wood mill or paper mill?
It was the paper mill, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he eventually went down the road and lost that job, and he ended up going into the woolen mill as well.
Oh, okay.
What my mom was doing is the same thing.
Okay.
So, I lost my mom when I was 17. She died of cancer, liver and gallbladder. I do have 4 brothers.
And what are their names and ages? Are they all still alive?
They're all still alive. Dick is the oldest brother. He's 60.
Okay.
Then there's Roger. I think he's,
Yeah, it'd be totally.
yeah, I'm 55, so he's got, I don't know, got to be around 58, 59 or something like that. Then there's Fred. He's the 3rd oldest. I don't know, make up a number. And then there's Raymond. He's the youngest boy. He is supposed to be legally blind, but nobody's really believing it, so I'm not sure. And I am the youngest, and I am the only girl.
Okay.
And
How was that growing up? Being
Well-
the only girl.
Well, it was good at times, but my brothers did pick on me, and tried to get away with stuff, teasing me and whatnot and stuff like that. But after my mom passed away, I was head of household, so to speak. I tried to make the meals, clean the house, and all that stuff for my brothers and my dad. So
You said that being the youngest and being the only girl, they teased you, but at the same time, I mean, did they protect you?
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. they did protect their little sister when it came to doing that stuff.
Okay. And you explained that you grew up on a farm. So what were some of the what were some of your most favorite things to do on the farm, and maybe what were some of your least favorite?
Well, we, went outside basically. Once you get up in the morning, you ate breakfast, you went outside, you played outside all day.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't have any chores to do on the farm?
Not really.
Okay.
We just, us kids just played outside and, went to the neighbors and played at the neighbors, or we had a gravel pit out back of our house where they worked on that during the day, but at night after they left, we went and played in the big sandbox, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, we did that all day, and came home for supper and go back outside and played again, did basically the same thing. We had haystacks, we jump off the haystacks and, made our own games up, so to speak.
Yeah. So there wasn't anything that you didn't really like about growing up on a farm?
No, not really.
Okay.
Enjoyed enjoyed most of it, all of it.
So overall, a good childhood?
Yep.
Okay. What brother would you say that you're the most, I don't know, maybe close with?
Fred.
Had more in common with?
Fred. He would be the third. He's the third oldest.
Probably because, third old? Okay. Why is that?
I don't know. Him and I just, we got along. Roger's not much of a talker. He's the second oldest.
Okay.
Dick, yeah, he was quiet. Mm-hmm. Raymond, he spoke his mind. He's the last boy of the boys. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. Fred him and I just clicked.
Yeah, okay. Can you tell me about any childhood friends that you had, at school growing up?
Well, I had one real good friend. She lived down the road from me, 2 houses down.
What was her name?
Terry. Yep. Her grandmother used to come over and visit my mom. They used to have coffee and her homemade donuts or whatever she had made that day or whatever. For her and I, we just played outside, played with her brother. She had 2 brothers, and my 4 brothers, we all just played hide and go seek or, whatever.
So were you guys friends growing up all throughout, even high school and stuff?
Yep.
So she was always there for you?
Yep.
Do you guys try and keep in contact now? I mean...
No. Yeah, she passed away.
Oh, yeah. Oops. When did she pass away?
What was it, right after? Was it before my dad or after my dad? So,
I know that...
Couple years ago. Right after Roger passed away, basically.
Okay.
So.
Yep.
Yep.
Roger. Alright. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I forgot.
Yep. And basically, I think she passed away because of depression.
Okay.
Stuff like that, I think.
Okay, so she had a little bit of depression?
Yeah. After her husband, after she lost Roger, she was depressed. I think that's basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you said that your mom passed away when you were 17, and you kind of became the head of the household, doing the cooking and cleaning and things like that.
Correct.
Did your dad try and help with any of that? I mean, did he recognize that you were helping and stuff like that?
I think he did recognize that I was helping, but my dad was the person where he got up in the morning, ate breakfast, went to work, and when he came home, he expected supper on the table. Mm-hmm. That was the old ways of doing that. And he ate his meal and sat in his chair, watched the news, and basically went to bed. That was his daily routine.
Okay. Did your brothers try and help you at all?
No.
Did you ever, even ask, or they just, kind of assume, you had it under control?
I had it. I'm the woman, like I said, back then, the woman did all the stuff.
Right.
And she was the head of household. She did the chores.
Okay. Okay, so now tell me a little bit about after your mom died, did your dad remarry, or?
Yes, he did.
And can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, That's another thing. Back then, they're lonely at that point,
Right.
and he, of course, of all of us kids had moved out of the house by then. He was in that big house by himself. So he met a woman, and they got remarried. He got remarried, and she didn't like me that much. Her and I didn't get along. I was 18 by then, and basically, I moved out of the house when I was 18. Like I said, we didn't get along. She didn't like me, and I don't know what her deal was or what her problem was, but I don't know if she was. I don't want to say jealous or whatever of me or something because I was daddy's little girl or something. I don't know. So
Okay.
but eventually she ended up getting Alzheimer's, and dad moved her into a home.
Did your dad see that you guys didn't get along? And I mean, did he pick sides or?
He tried not to pick sides because he figured, if he picked sides, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be winning on either side. So that I thought maybe the best thing for me to do is just move out and go live somewhere else, which I
Right.
did. I got an apartment, and I went and lived in my apartment.
Okay.
So.
Alright. So let's a little bit about your family history. Can you tell me a little bit about after high school, what you did after you graduated high school?
Well, after I graduated high school, I also went into the Rumble Mills and started working at the same place my mom did and my dad did. After a while, I just didn't want to do that anymore, so I ended up. My grandmother, which was my mother's mother, wanted me to go to college.
Okay. What college did you go to?
Oh, geez, I don't
Was it like a
It
technical?
was out east. It was a technical college out east.
And how long did you go attend there for?
Probably about 3 months.
Okay.
So it was something my grandmother wanted to do,
Right.
and I didn't want to do
Right.
it.
So.
And she felt that's something my mother wanted me to do.
Mhm.
But I gave it a shot and just didn't like
Wasn't
it.
for you?
No. So I ended up going to work in a circuit board shop, which is called Main Electronics, back out east.
Mhm.
So I was there for about a good 12 years.
Oh, okay.
We lost Dad, and then I had met my husband Dave, and we had gotten married back in '85.
Okay.
After that, we had learned that the board shop was closing, and him and I had to find different employment.
Okay.
So I was able to stay there for another 6 months while he looked for another employment, and this is how we ended up in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Okay. He found something in
He found
here in
something,
lacrosse.
yeah, which was called
Did he ever fly out here and like check it out first, or
Yes,
yeah, he had
he
an
did.
he had an interview.
he had an interview with Bob Floyd.
Okay. And then you got the job and you guys moved out as soon as possible, or?
Well, basically, yeah, we had to sell our house back out east,
Mhm.
and so we had to get rid of that first. And actually, I think we ended up selling it after we moved here
Okay.
after we left.
And you guys drove here.
Yeah, we
Packed
drove
everything.
here in our station wagon.
How was that?
Oh, that was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you had at this time you'd already had Kim.
I had Kim. Kim was 2.5 years old, and
Okay.
I was 6 months pregnant with you.
Okay. So tell me about the move. How much of a transition was that for you from moving from Maine to here in Wisconsin?
It was different for me because I lived out east all of my life, and I never thought I'd be moving anywhere.
Right. Yeah. It's the Midwest.
And to move out here to the Midwest, but David was originally from Green Bay anyway, so he always wanted to come back to the Wisconsin area.
Okay.
It was difficult at first. I didn't think I could do it, but I managed.
Yeah.
But it's a nice place to live now, and I don't know if I'd ever move back out
Yeah.
east now.
Yeah, it is a nice place. Is it the weather-wise different? I mean,
Weather is very different.
does Maine get that cold? As cold as here?
Maine does not get as cold as here, and I think they get more snow than we do.
Okay.
because they're on the coast.
Yeah.
So it's different for them than it is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we first moved here back in, what was it?
88?
88.
Was it
88 or 89.
Yep.
It was very, very cold that first year we moved here.
Okay.
I asked my husband Dave, where did he take me? I thought he took me to Alaska. He said, Alaska's warmer than here.
No,
I'm going,
good to know.
Then let's go there then.
Yeah. That's funny.
But after that, it's not bad. You get used to it.
Yep.
You get used to living here and the accommodations and whatnot, so it's not bad.
Tell me a little bit about, so where did you move when we moved to Wisconsin?
We moved to St. Valerie Apartments.
Okay, St. Valerie Apartments.
Yep. We lived there for probably about a year before we got our first house over on French Island.
Okay. And how was the area on French Island? Did you like living?
French Island was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice place to live. There was a lot of older houses and people and whatnot, but it was good.
Check this out real quick.
And you asked me what I did after.
All right. So far, we've covered a little bit. We've covered your childhood. You explained that your mother passed away when you were 17 of gallbladder cancer. And your father, is he living or?
No, my
You don't
father
know if I
has
asked
now
that.
passed away as well.
Okay, and what did he pass away from?
I'm not really sure. Depression,
Heart.
maybe heart. Yeah. Well, he had gone in for a hospital for a knee surgery. He was supposed to have a bypass,
Okay.
but then he ended up having he was going to have knee surgery, and then he ended up having an emergency bypass.
That's kind of a totally.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, they was checking him out to see if he could go to surgery, and they checked his heart.
Oh.
He had like 3 blocked arteries,
Oh.
so they knew he wasn't going to be able to do that knee surgery.
okay.
And then after he had the heart surgery, they said that he wouldn't make it through weren't going to do his knee because they said he wouldn't have made it through the knee surgery.
What year did he get that heart surgery? How long ago was that before he passed away? Do you?
Probably about 5 years ago,
Oh.
I'm thinking.
5 years ago, and then he passed away about.
He just passed away a couple years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah. Was he diabetic?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Probably because he was overweight, or
Probably because he overweight and he loved his sweets. Because
Yeah.
my mom always made homemade pies and
Yep.
cookies, and let me tell you, he was the first one to eat it, and probably the last one to have the last pie too.
Do you recall how old he was? Was in his 70s?
Dad was 70. Go with 79.
79? Okay. And your mom was, how old was your mom? She must have been pretty
Mom
young.
was only 41 or 42.
Okay.
She was very young. Yep, she was very young.
Okay. And then we went on to talk about, you graduated high school.
Yep.
But you tried college out. It was something that your grandma wanted you to do, but, it just wasn't for you, and, you don't want to be doing something that isn't going to work out for you, so.
Correct.
And then you went on to explain that you worked in the mills where your mom and dad worked.
Yep.
And then you worked at Main Electronics for 12 years, where you met Dave. And you've been married now for
26 years.
26 years.
Yes.
Okay. And how is 26 years of marriage?
Pretty darn good.
Yeah? All right.
It has its ups and downs, but I think everything does.
Yes, exactly. Alright, and then you, so then Main Electronics was actually closing, so then Dave had to go find a job, and he found a job here in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and that was when you guys moved, and you had already had Kim,
Yep.
who was 2.5 at the time, and I was still in the womb.
Correct.
And moving from out east to the Midwest was a bit of a transition because it was very cold, but all in all, a positive thing.
Yes.
A good thing.
Yeah.
You're glad you moved out here.
I think
Okay. So, tell me a little bit about as myself and Kim were growing up. Were you a stay-at-home mom at the time?
Yep, I stayed home till you guys went into full-time schooling.
Okay. So when I was in kindergarten?
Yep.
Okay. And did you start to find work? Did you go find a job or anything?
Well, actually, what I did was I first started. I did volunteer at St. James School, the school that you and Kimmy were going to.
Okay. And what were some of the things that you did there?
Oh, I volunteered to do work in the library. Put the books away when the kids got done with them. Volunteered to go on field trips with the kids for picnics and museums or wherever they went.
Well, that's kind of a fun job.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Did you like being around the elementary school kids and seeing your kids at school?
It was pretty different. It
Yeah.
was pretty different. Oh yeah, I did volunteer too to work into the kindergarten
Oh, you did?
classes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I helped Mrs. Mao.
Was that something? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Was that something that you went up to the principal and said, "Hey, do you need any help?" Or did they like offer it? Or
Kind of offered it. At a assistant secretary there, Carrie Ebner. She kind of offered it and whatnot, and said, I said something. I just need something to do during the day while the kids are in
Oh,
school.
yeah.
And
Yeah. Okay. And so this was all mainly volunteer. Did they pay?
no,
Okay.
they're all mainly
Okay.
volunteered work.
Well, that's nice of you too. Volunteer but like you said, it was something that was fun to do and going on free field trips. That
Yes.
was
Yep. Yep.
So and then do you want to tell me about your next job that you?
Then I got done doing that, and my kids got older, so I was able to go to work and get some money into the family and help the family along here. And I went to work at UWL.
Okay. And what'd you do there?
I worked in the food service department.
Food service. Okay.
Yep.
And what were some of your responsibilities there?
Getting the food ready for when the kids came in from their classes to eat and whatnot. Made sure, wipe stuff down after the kids went by and got their food, and just wiped stuff down, make sure everything's clean, keep the food warm, and if something's empty, go get another one and fill it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite part of that job, and maybe least favorite?
I liked it all, really,
Yeah?
to tell you the truth.
Like
Yep.
being around the college kids?
Like being around the college kids. I had very good coworkers that I was working with. Got along with all of them.
Good.
We had fun, It was something to do.
Okay. What was your reason for leaving that job?
Well, I ended up going in and trying to get a different position in there.
Uh-huh.
They had given it to somebody else. I
Okay.
didn't agree with that, so I just decided it's time for me to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went on to Wallscraft.
Okay. And what's that?
Which they build cabinet doors and drawers, and then they do specialty doors. What I did was I ran a machine that would put a groove in. If you would look at your cabinet doors, you go look around the edges, and that's the groove thing that I would put in to put the cabinet doors together. After about 5 years, I ended up getting hurt. The piece of wood flew out of the machine I was working on, and it hit my arm, and I ended up going to the emergency hospital and had 20 stitches.
Oh, oof.
And after I went back to work, I did a few little things. I couldn't do anything else, so I put beads in the styling rails, is what they called them.
Okay.
They wanted me to go back on the machine. I did not feel comfortable going back on that machine.
Mm-hmm.
They said they fixed the problem, but I'm sorry, I did not agree with them at the time. So I ended up giving my 2 weeks notice, and then I ended up going to work somewhere else, and now I am employed at Quick Trip.
Okay.
But I was home for probably a year before I went from Wallscraft to Quick Trip.
Right. When did you start working at Quick Trip?
3 years ago.
Okay, so 2009. What Quick Trip do you work at?
I work on Quick Trip on Sand Lake Road
Okay.
in Onalaska.
A lot of Quick Trip stores, so.
Yes, there is.
And what is your responsibilities there?
I've been working in the food. I've been working in the kitchen, preparing food for our guests that come in. Sometimes early in the morning, I will go in and do the bakery, frost the donuts, get breakfast ready, get soup ready, get all the preparations, get going for when our guests come in. And if I have to, sometimes I go and help with coffee and getting stuff ready for that as well.
And you also do you work out front at all?
I do work up front now. I'm starting to get trained up front on the cash registers, and that's a little bit more involved, but I'm getting it now, so I'm learning how to do all of that too.
A lot more stuff to remember.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you like working out front more than in the kitchen, or do you have a preference?
I don't have a preference. Actually, I like going both ways because now I'm doing a lot more and not just doing the same thing all the time every day. You know, so it's challenging, but it's good.
It's good to transition, not do the same thing every day, though.
Exactly.
So it's good.
Now I get to greet people and meet people and whatnot.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Yeah. That's good. Alright. So I guess next, what we'll talk about here is currently, where are you living at the moment?
We are living now in Holman, Wisconsin.
Okay. And who do you live with?
My husband, Dave.
Okay. I know that, just me being your daughter, you live in a bigger house. Have you guys talked about maybe moving into a smaller home and somewhere else?
Yeah, we eventually want to downsize and get a smaller place, like maybe a ranch.
Okay.
Dave would like some land because he would like to get a dog.
Okay. And how do you feel about that?
Oh, I don't mind it because I don't need to be cleaning this whole big house just for him and I anyway. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, a smaller house would be very nice. But we're just waiting for the house market to get better so we can get our money worth on this house that we have.
Okay. And currently, we just had talked about how you are currently working at Quick Trip.
Yes.
And you have been married now for 26 years.
Correct.
And you have a birthday coming up here. So, and how old are you at the moment? Just for
55.
55. Okay. I have that written down correctly. So next, tell me a little bit about your daily activity. I know you explained that at Quick Trip you do work the early morning hours. Maybe explain to me, how does that affect your eating and sleeping and, doing your daily routine that, you were used to, and rather than not waking up at 1, 2 in the morning to get going for work.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of hard to get up at 2 in the morning, but, and then the other way I look at it, getting up at 2 in the morning, going in at 3, I'm done work by 10 a.m.
Right.
And some people are just going to work at that point, so... it feels kind of nice. Then I do, come home and maybe take an hour's nap or whatever. And then I still have the rest of the day to myself to do whatever I want to do, Whether I want to clean the house or just sit back and relax.
Yeah, exactly. So, what time, I guess what time do you have to go to bed, at night? If you do have to work at 3 a.m.?
I try to be in bed by at least 8.
Okay. And how about your eating patterns? I know early in the morning it's probably don't really want to eat,
No, I don't want to eat at that time, but when the other gal comes in to relieve me in the kitchen around 7 or 8, then I'll go have a bite to eat for breakfast and whatnot.
Okay.
I'll grab an apple or whatever.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your medical history. I know I already previously stated that your mother had gallbladder cancer, and then your dad had that bypass surgery and unfortunately passed away. Do you have any current allergies, or are you on any medications?
Nope.
At the moment?
Nope.
Okay. And have you ever had any hospitalizations for any reason?
just to have my babies, and
Yep.
that's it.
And then the injury, you had that injury at Wellscraft, you
Correct.
stated, where you got the stitches.
Yep. And that was the only other time that I've been in the hospital.
So overall, fairly
Fairly
healthy.
good,
Yeah, yeah.
fairly good health.
Going to the doctor.
Going to the doctors,
Uh-huh.
yep, doing my checkups and whatnot. And
Everything so far.
so far, so good. They keep sending me letters telling me I'm good.
Well, that's good. Is there any biological diseases that run in your family, your side of the family?
The only thing is, my brother was blind. And he had a tumor that went too close to the optic nerve. Otherwise,
Oh,
than that.
well, yeah, and then cancer. And,
Cancer.
you know.
Yep. Cancer with my mom.
Mm-hmm. Diabetes with your dad.
Diabetes with my dad. Yep.
Okay. Has the use of alcohol ever been a problem for you?
Nope. I have a couple of glasses of wine at night just to sit down and relax and unwind, and
Okay.
you know.
No one's ever brought it to your attention?
Nope.
Okay. Do you currently use tobacco?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
How long have you done that for?
Many years.
Okay.
1 or 2 a day just to
Yep.
get the stress off,
Okay.
kind of thing.
And you started smoking at age
18 or 19,
Okay.
probably.
Did you smoke when we were younger? I mean, obviously you probably didn't smoke when we were.
I wasn't smoking when I had you guys in
Yeah.
the womb, but
Yeah.
yes, afterwards, in between or whatever, yes.
Okay. And caffeine. Working early in the morning. Are you a coffee drinker?
I am a coffee drinker, but I try to drink the decaf if I can,
Okay.
so I don't end up all wound up.
Do you only drink coffee in the morning?
I do like drinking coffee in the morning.
Mhm.
I'll have a couple cups here if I'm home during the day. At work, I try to have coffee. I fill it up, and then I go in the kitchen and work, and by the time I come back out, it's cold.
Yeah, yeah. So have you ever experienced any traumatic history or traumatic events in your life? Have you any type of abuse?
No.
Okay.
No.
And have you ever thought for any? I don't know, losing someone's tough, but
Yeah.
psychiatric history. Have you ever thought about hurting yourself or any suicide thoughts?
No.
Okay.
That has never come to mind.
Okay. Have you ever been arrested or been to court for any reason because of something?
No, the only time I went to court was for jury
Jury
duty.
duty?
Yep.
Okay. So, I guess something that, for a presenting problem, I know working at Quick Trip can sometimes it can be a stressful job, I guess. I kind of know that
Yes.
firsthand. So, something that we kind of discussed before this interview, a presenting problem that you're currently having is you're having a difficult time with a coworker. Someone.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to me about that a little bit?
Well, I work in the kitchen, and she works up front. She does the paperwork in the morning, gets the store ready to open, and I do, my thing out back,
Okay.
She did not like the way I was doing things. She didn't think I had enough food out at the time. We got kind of, I got kind of ticked off about it, and then I went to my boss, Kristen, to talk to her about it and see what she thought.
Mm-hmm.
And then she went and talked to this person, and now this person's not talking to me because I guess she feels that I went and tattled on her or whatever, but I just felt it had benefit for me because I felt like I was stressing out more than with that than I should have been. So
Did she? So when you were talking about how she didn't like that you didn't have enough food out and things like that, or how you were doing things, did she try and say, "Hey, Linda, maybe you can throw out a few more sandwiches, or maybe you can do this instead because maybe it's a little bit easier"? Or did she kind of just come at you?
she just kind of came at me.
Oh, okay.
She used to be a store leader, and
Okay.
I think now she still thinks she's a store leader.
But
Or
she's not.
She's not, and she's acting like a store leader.
Okay.
You know, she came in one day and did this to me on the counter, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go do that. You know.
Well, way to stand up for yourself.
Yep.
So when you went and talked to Kristen, did she kind of know that this was probably occurring, or I mean?
I don't think so, but she was glad that I brought it to her attention.
Right.
You know, and I felt like I knew what I was doing, and I even asked my boss, Kristen. I said, "Do you think I know what I'm doing in the kitchen?" She says, "Yeah, you know what, you know what you're doing. You know what you're supposed to do and whatnot." She said. So she agreed with me, and she would sit down. She said she would sit down and talk to this person, and that's what she did.
Did she tell you after she had a chat with the person that you're having a problem with? Did she say, "Hey, I went and talked to so and so, and this is what"?
No,
she just handled it on her own.
She just handled it on her own, and that was the end of the conversation. We didn't talk about it anymore.
Do you think she handled it in the correct manner?
I think she did. Yep.
Okay. And so, as of today, right now, she still won't talk to you?
Well, she says good morning to me and stuff like that, but I have to more or less pry it out of her, so to speak. So,
sometimes it's just not worth it.
Exactly. So I just go along, do my day, do my thing, and then I leave. So.
What would you say, I guess, looking at work or just like life in general, what are some strengths that you think stand out about yourself?
I think I'm a really good person. I'm a very happy person. I think I can carry on a conversation with people. You know, I like to have fun and, you know, stuff like that.
Okay. And what about some weaknesses? Any that you can, I mean...
nothing I can really think off the top of my head.
Overall, good self-esteem, though?
Exactly.
Okay. Also, I forgot to ask you, what is the religion that you practice?
We are Catholic.
Catholic? Okay. And have you always been Catholic?
Always been Catholic. Yep, Catholic. All my life. My parents brought me up that way.
Okay. And you go to church on a regular basis?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Something else I kind of wanted to talk to you about, and if, talk about as much as you can.
Okay.
I know it's not an easy subject.
Correct.
But, my older sister, your daughter,
yes.
Passed away in 2007.
Correct.
A little freak accident. Can you tell me a little bit?
That was
2007. It's okay. Time flies.
Yes, it does.
Yep. Can you tell me, I don't know, as much as you can, maybe just take me back to that day, or, the things that you were feeling and things like that.
Just got a weird phone call that.
But.
Yeah, I lost a daughter. She was freshly out of high school. It was a bad experience, but we're coping with it every day. I get up in the morning, try to do the best through my day, go through my job, and come home and do whatever I have to do here or whatever. And
always thinking about her, though, huh?
Always thinking about her. Yes.
Do you have someone that you can talk to, that you're comfortable talking with? If
Well, I have a priest that used to be at our church. His name is Father Shekel, but he has moved now on to a different church in Richland Center.
Right.
But I think if I needed to talk to someone, and if I called him, I think he would, sit down and talk to me if I needed someone.
I don't know, every now and then, you and Dad
We kind of talk about it now, and we kind of joke about it and stuff that she she used to do.
So is your husband someone that you can,
Dave's very quiet. Dave is not a very open person, So, but I think if I needed to sit down and talk with him as well, I think he would, he would talk.
going through something like that, obviously it wasn't a positive thing, but at the same time, it could be positive. It makes you grow as a person.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
You would agree with that?
Yes,
okay.
I would. It changes your life a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Yes. Okay. We will. Have you ever thought about going to a counselor or any type of that? I mean, we talked about that a little bit.
Not really. That's not something that I really wanted to do. Because they would try to help me cope with it.
Right.
But in the long run, I don't think they could help me.
Yeah. Something that maybe you needed to do on your own.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Linda. So again, I want to thank you. We kind of just went through your life, from childhood to living in Maine to now living here in Holman, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And we talked a little bit about your employment, the places that you've lived, and the problem that you were experiencing at Quick Trip. But sounds like you got that figured out, and
Yep.
You're not really worrying about.
Nope. Okay. Nope. My boss says I'm doing okay.
Well, good.
And if my boss says I'm doing okay, then I'm good.
Good. All right. So next, I have a few tests that I need you to take.
Okay.
So this is the first one. It's called the Cooter Career Search. So this is identifying your most preferred activities based on 10 career-related interest scales. Your results will list your preferences in order of your greatest to least enjoyed activities, and these include nature, mechanical, science and technical, art, music, communications, human services, sales management, computations, and last, office detail.
Okay.
So if you just want to take this kind of briefly, it has, so for an example, it lists 3 different things. So read the 3 different sentences,
Yep.
and whichever one appeals to you the most, put a 1, and then the next one a 2, and then the least appealing thing to you a 3.
Okay.
So
Very good.
that's there.
Okay.
And this is the quality of life inventory. So this one's pretty short. It's not too long, so
All right.
pretty simple too. It has a scale that ranks from dissatisfied to very satisfied, and not important to extremely important. So it's 2 different sections. So it's going to ask you to describe how important something is to you, like your work, health, money, self-esteem, things like that. So rank whatever it asks you, rank how important that is to you. And then next, rank how satisfying that would be to you. So again, work, health, self-esteem,
Okay.
and things like that. So
Alright.
and then get that
Okay.
one there. And then this is the last one here, the Myers-Briggs indicator. So you got to open it up here, and there's 2 parts to it. Again, it's pretty short, so there's a backside. So
Right.
the part 1, it asks you which answers come closer to telling how you usually feel or act. So it says, are you usually a good mixer or rather quiet and reserved? So
Okay.
to choose from one of the 2 there. And then in the second part, which one appeals to you the most? So they have a couple different different words. So are you more determined or devoted? So think about that, and
All right.
whatever comes to mind first. So
Okay.
don't spend too much time on it. Just again, whatever comes to mind first. So I will
Alright.
have you take those.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Linda. So you have taken all of the tests here. So first, we'll start off with the Myers-Briggs. So I added up, your score here and figured out. It gives you 4 different letters, and
Okay.
those letters obviously stand for something, and I'll tell you that. So so you prefer to focus your attention on, you scored an E, so that stands for extroversion.
Okay.
So you focus on the outer world of people and the external environment. You're energetic, and I think knowing you obviously all my life, you have always been an outgoing person and a positive person.
Yes.
And the jobs that you've had working at UWL, you work with people. It's a fast-moving business that you worked there for, and then now at Quick Trip, Quick Trip's a growing business, and you always get those same customers coming in not only because it's Quick Trip and there's coffee there and all the other things there, but I think they also come there for the people.
Yeah.
So, and I think you are one of those people.
Okay.
So you were a sensor. So you find out is to use your sensing function. So you use your eyes, ears, and other senses to tell what is actually there and actually happening, both inside and outside of yourself. So it's useful for appreciating the realities of a situation. And I think that you don't always like see what's going on in the outside. You're able to sense like someone when they're having a good day or a bad day.
Yes.
You're able to tell.
Yep.
And I think that that's important. So next, feeling. You've always had. I mean, you obviously think, but I think a lot of times your feelings get and your emotions. You're more of an emotional person, and you're more on the caring side and personal. You deal with people, and you're more sympathetic, appreciative of the things that you have in life, and I think that's important. Especially what we had talked about throughout this interview here. The things that you've gone through. Losing someone and the negative. It always turns into a positive, and like I said, your emotions. Really affect how you interact with people and things like that. So, and Jay. So you have a judgment, so it's judgment. So those two take a judging attitude with either thinking or feeling, tend to live in a planned and orderly way. They're able to control their life, and when you use your judging function, you like to make decisions and come to a closure and carry on. And I think that you've always done a good job on, you're able to make decisions and things like that on your own. Or, you've always had Dad to make decisions with each other, and I think you guys have always been able to communicate, as far as I have seen anyways.
Yes.
You guys have always communicated well and been able to come to a decision, so that is the Myers-Briggs.
Okay.
So then next, I have the quality of life inventory. So these are just some numbers I had to crunch in here. So your overall quality of life is high, so you're overall a happy person. I don't think you didn't score anything in the dissatisfaction area, so
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you didn't even have any ones. So overall, you're a happy person. You are satisfied with things, and you obviously have all of these things for the most part are important in your life, So
Right. Exactly.
and that's important with that. And then lastly, the cooter here. Just page to the back here. Alright, so then this one was on different rankings. So you scored on nature and mechanical, which I was kind of surprised by. I could have guessed the nature for sure. And I guess mechanical kind of goes for the outdoors too.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that I'm going to page back quick here. So, you like to do things outdoors, you like to garden and things like that, and when it's a nice day out, you don't like to waste your day inside, so.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
growing up, you grew up on a farm, so.
And I was outside a lot.
Yeah, you're outside probably all the time, so, you helped raise the animals and things like that, and I think that, starting right there from square one, it became a hobby for you and something that was probably important to you, so.
Yep.
So yeah, like I said, I was kind of surprised with the whole mechanical thing, but I remember you talking about the test, and it said, well, I don't know, maybe one of them was, would you rather fix a car or fix something else, and you kind of just chose something because you're like, I don't really enjoy any of these. It does say the enjoyment with woodworking, and I know you did work at Walls Craft. I don't know how often you enjoyed that job as much, but I mean, it was a job, and I think you were good at it, so. And then the one that you scored, so second was art, music, and communication, and so art you scored a 7 on, so I mean, no, I never really knew if you were much of an artsy person, so, but music, I know you like to listen to music and things like that,
Yep.
and so for communication, you like to, keep in touch with, you like to read books, I know that, and
Yep.
TVs, magazine, and newspapers, and you like to keep up on that, those kind of things. Something you scored least on was I kind of just by knowing you, computers and office.
Yeah, I'm not that kind of a whizzy person.
Yeah, that's okay. No, and you, I know you don't really like computations, accountants, tax preparers, bookkeeping.
Right,
That's
right.
something that's probably not right up your alley. And
No,
that was something that
no,
you were
no.
never really interested in. So.
And I never worked in an office kind of thing.
Right. So yeah, you never really have had that type of experience. So.
Correct.
All right. So, and that was your scoring.
Okay.
So next, almost finished up here. So the MBTI and the quality. So how do these results relate to the results of each one? So for the quality, like I had said, you have an overall high quality of life. A lot of things are important to you, and you are overall satisfied with the things that you do have in your life. And so, like, I guess as being an extrovert, you're always positive and outgoing, and I think that really plays a part in having a high over quality of life. So that's something that, would you agree with that?
Yes.
They kind of correlate with each other.
Yes. Yes.
And then for feeling wise, that's what you scored the feeling on the MBTI here, and for the quality, asking how like satisfied you are with things and things like that. Feelings and satisfaction kind of go hand in hand as well. So maybe, and then going with the cooter here, the career search. Since you did score so high, maybe a recommendation that I would have for you is maybe considering, I don't know, finding a job that deals with nature or outdoors, like maybe some type of like a flower shop. Maybe that would be a happy job to have.
Yes, that would be.
Something like, have you ever thought about maybe doing that?
I have.
Yeah?
I have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Would it be something that you would be maybe maybe that could be like a springtime job? Because I know you do like gardening, so you do have experience with that and things like that. And then probably maybe even a recommendation for if I don't know if you want to learn more about computers and things like that. And I don't know if has working in an office ever appealed to you really?
Not really.
No.
No.
Okay. So maybe.
I don't think I could sit down at a job all day and just look at a computer all day.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing mine with games and stuff, but sitting all day down, I don't. No.
Okay. All right, well, Linda. Well, thank you again. I really appreciate you participating in this. And again, this is confidential.
Okay.
The only one that will see it is Dawnette. So, again, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Jenny.